What's up, deckheads? I've been a bit cheeky and I've had a bit of a dip into the Steam summer sales. It's not like I didn't have enough games on my backlog as it is. I'm going to review one of the games I bought, Abiotic Factor, and tell you whether this game is worth your cash or is just plain trash. Keep in mind that this game is still in early access, and this review may not reflect the final product after its release. And, as always, throughout all the gameplay footage you'll see in this video, I am playing with my deck. That's right, all the gameplay footage was recorded on the Steam Deck to tell you how well the game plays and performs on Valve's gaming device. If you enjoy this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up to help others find it, and hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future Deckhead videos. Without further ado, let's get started.
Now we're ready for anything.
Abiotic Factor is a unique survival game that takes players on an immersive journey through an underground research facility filled with mysteries and challenges. Set in a world where the natural order has been disrupted, the game tasks players with scavenging resources from everyday objects and furniture to craft essential equipment and build up a secure base of operations. As players explore the depths of the facility, they'll uncover more areas to investigate, each with its own set of obstacles and potential rewards. Players must carefully manage their resources, balance their needs, and adapt to the ever-changing conditions of the underground world to ensure their survival and uncover the mysteries of the facility. Often described as Half-Life meets survival, from fighting off paranormal creatures to unlocking the secrets of the facility, Abiotic Factor offers a captivating experience that blends survival mechanics with a compelling narrative. The very first thing you'll notice in this game is its outdated graphics. The models are extremely low quality, reminiscent of games like GoldenEye on the Nintendo 64, which is why it doesn't make a whole lot of sense that the game really struggles on the default settings on the deck, or occasionally has to load as you sprint into what is obviously designated as a separate rendering area. By default, the graphics settings are set to epic, but with the low quality models, it makes you question, what is the epic setting really doing and is it necessary? I found setting all of the graphics options to medium to be the perfect balance between performance and playability on the deck. The low setting was very unappealing visually, and anything beyond that really had the deck struggling to keep up, running at extremely low frame rates. And while a mild annoyance, it would be nice to have graphics profile options on the settings screen that allow you to change all of the graphics options at the same time. Hopefully, this comes in a future update. The character creation process is also a bit of a mixed bag. Beyond the flat N64-like faces, the hair and beard cosmetics float a small distance away from the characters' faces. Thankfully, this issue isn't noticeable beyond the character creation screen. Apart from this, I did actually enjoy the character creation process. Obviously, you won't have anywhere near as much customization options available as many AAA games from the past 10 years or so, but the developers clearly intend for your character to look like a stereotypical scientist you would find in a video game. When starting or joining a new game after your initial playthrough of the tutorial, you're given a lot of character customization options that will affect your gameplay. Each player must choose a job from the 9 available options, each with their own starting skills and suggested roles. Once you have selected a job, you'll then be able to choose from a target list of positive traits, which subtract from your available trait points, and negative traits, which add to your available trait points, allowing you to choose more positive traits. With so many jobs and traits, you have a lot of freedom in your style of gameplay each new game you start. Particularly in multiplayer, this is really useful for giving everyone a specialized role to create a well-greased, paranormal fighting, apocalypse surviving machine. The game's writing is superb, with witty dialogue that elevates the experience. This style of writing also helped to create what I think is one of the most charming tutorials I've ever played. The game takes you through a very typical, yet necessary learning process, which would be agonizing for many players if not for the enjoyable dialogue, likely to bring a smile to even the most hardened of gamers.
Look, we'll call this training, basic first aid.
In terms of teaching the game's mechanics, this process does continue on into the main game, but is very well executed. New events and character statuses trigger hints that are actually very useful without being obtrusive. New enemy types and game mechanics that pose a threat to the player are always introduced in a controlled situation without any hints. This helps teach you attack patterns and how to deal with the various hazardous situations the game throws at you before gradually ramping up the difficulty without force feeding you information. While this sounds really simple, it's actually often botched by even AAA game developers. The fact that this is so well executed is a sign that developer Deep Field Games has a really strong understanding of the fundamentals of good gameplay. By far, the greatest aspect of Abiotic Factor is its gameplay. The gameplay loop of building up a base and running expeditions into the facilities to scavenge more gear and resources while exploring even deeper into the complex is truly engaging. The survival aspects are also really well executed, such as building up your base to improve effectiveness and quality of life, and experimenting with different ingredients to find an edible soup. Even the mini-games to improve your quality of sleep and ease your bowel movements make very mundane in-game tasks actually enjoyable. I think the method of learning crafting recipes that is adopted in Abiotic Factor is the best executed of any survival game I have played to date. As an example, when your character is tired and takes a nap on a couch for the first time, they get an idea for a bed recipe. To convert this idea into an actual recipe, you need to place the correct materials into their designated slots as your character pieces together how exactly to convert their solution to address this need into a reality. Not only does this make the very simple act of unlocking new recipes a joy, encouraging the player to unlock more and more recipes, but it also very closely emulates how the process would happen in real life. While a lot of fun in single player, the game truly shines in multiplayer, which is clearly how the developers want you to play the game. With multiple players, groups are able to allocate different roles, allowing each player to specialize in different areas. In my current ongoing multiplayer game, I've found myself acting as the cook, making soups from the various questionable meat products that my colleagues cut from the corpses of the alien creatures they have slain.
We have more soup when everyone's ready.
Specializing in a field like this has allowed me to quickly unlock many of its associated skills, allowing me to contribute even further to the group. It really does create a greater than the sum of their parts scenario.
There you go, there's a soup bowl.
The developers have also expertly utilized in-game voice communication. The game adjusts the incoming volume based on your proximity to the player who is talking. This is a really nice touch.
Like I can see the container of the salt in there.
What's the problem?
I just don't think it's edible.
I'll be the judge of that.
Once your base is set up and you start to split up expeditions to optimize your operations, hearing the voices of your fellow scientists get quieter as they get further and further away before finally finding yourself alone in the silence is unnerving, further adding to the experience. But fear not, you can craft walkie-talkies, allowing you to maintain long-distance communications with your posse and stave off the anxiety.
Tech scraps. I think I have some on me.
I don't know.
Yeah, I have quite a few on me.
Abiotic Factor controls extremely well on the deck. The developers have clearly given a lot of thought into making the game just as accessible with a controller. All in-game actions are mapped very intuitively, quickly making the controls second nature. The menus and quick bar are also very easy to navigate on a controller, an aspect that many survival game developers struggle with. One small gripe I had with the controller was that crouching is not toggled, requiring the player to hold down the button to maintain a lower profile. However, this is more of an issue with the settings options than the actual controls. Hopefully there's an update in future which allows the option to toggle crouch, addressing what is really the only issue with the game's controls on deck. But fortunately, because this is the Steam Deck, you can map crouch to one of the back panel buttons as a workaround. Despite the outdated graphics and performance issues on the Steam Deck when using the default graphics settings, Abiotic Factor's gameplay is truly engaging. The game's unique yet expertly implemented mechanics offer a fresh experience that sets it apart from the competition. This, combined with the game's distinctive setting, makes Abiotic Factor a must-try for fans of the survival genre or those of you waiting very patiently for Half-Life 3. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, And so you don't miss out on any future videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. See you next time, deckheads.